fixing your shit is not done in healthcare. Like, it's a personal responsibility. There's no greater motivator than pain. I look at living pain-free in 4 pillars: alignment, movement, mindset, and recovery. I, right now, teach people how to use their muscles to pull their spine into alignment. Don't let healthcare fool you to think the reason you have pain is because of bad luck or bad genes. That's not the truth at all. It's the way you move.
Welcome to the Hard Way podcast with Joe DeSena, founder and CEO of Spartan Races. We're teaching you how to overcome your obstacles in your life the same way we teach our 10 million plus Spartans to overcome obstacles on the course, with insight from the smartest, most accomplished experts from every corner of the world. Get ready to elevate your life today.
Joe DeSena here, CEO and founder of Spartan and host of the Hard Way podcast. I've got a doctor that makes it the easy way, not the hard way. He helps people get through you help people get through the hard way and start moving again. Dr. Mike, welcome aboard.
Thank you so much, Joe. Thanks for having me. I mean, awesome work with Spartan Race. And by the way, loved you when you had RFK on Junior the other week. Incredible, dude. Super happy to be here. I know you're a fan of the hard way. You've taken it your whole life. And I'm just super happy to be speaking with somebody who doesn't look for easy street. This is where I'm super happy to share the mission of helping people fix their shit. And I think it's going to resonate real well with you and your audience.
Well, it's important everybody knows. You brought up a good point. I pitch the hard way to my family, myself, every day, everybody around us, the global community. But that doesn't mean you should break things, right? Like if you feel something going on in your body, you got to take care of it. You don't know this, Doc, but many moons ago, I was driving with a friend of mine who fell asleep while he was driving. And we hit a tree at 85 miles an hour and I went out the window and my leg was ripped out of my hip. And that was definitely the hard way of getting out of that vehicle. And somehow I recovered. I became maniacal about fixing things and working with professionals. And I completed that year 14 Ironman. I can't even tell you how many ultras. I went absolutely crazy. And I also get that most people don't know how to fix their shit, as you said. So how'd you get into this? And then we can get into how we can fix people.
Well, if I could just touch on a point real quick to you that you brought up, it's the fact of pain, right? And I would think maybe the hard way is people going, like let's say they're training for an Ironman or a triathlon. Pain, push through it, be tough, push through the pain, keep moving through it. And that's one approach. The other approach is people who are afraid of the pain, right? And what those people avoid the pain. And so what happens is you got a split. Neither of those splits usually ends in the place that they want to end. The person who pushes too hard, they end up breaking bones, tearing ligaments, ripping their meniscus down, tearing their meniscus down, herniating disc in their back. And the other person becomes frail and fragile and afraid. There is a place to go that cuts right through the middle of that where both parties can merge. And I'd like to get into that. I did want to touch on that initially on what you said. But back to your question though, is like how I got into this. Well, I grew up near a town called Cortland, Ohio. I mean, population, 10,000. And I used to deliver pizzas to the town chiropractor. I was a pizza delivery boy. And then one day I got fired from delivering pizza. I'm not very good with directions, okay? That is one area, Joe, I'm weak, okay, navigationally. But I know it's in the woods. I got my compass. I got my Garmin. I'm good to go. But you leave me without those, I'm kind of struggling. I started delivering pizzas, guy, and I didn't have social media. I didn't have any like business inspirational figures. And that was the year 2000. So I was 18 and now I'm 42 years old. So it's crazy how time flies. I think it's like 24 years in healthcare. And, I started as a chiropractic assistant, learned to do x-rays. I ran the whole rehab department, personal injuries, got my bachelor degree in psychology, did most of my pre-meds, went into chiro school, studied abroad, worked in the VA, graduated chiro, opened a clinic in California, sports injury and rehab has always been my thing. Love sports injury, love rehab. It's been my bread and butter. Moved out here to Cali, worked with Titleist Performance Institute, did all the active release technique, grew a clinic out here. And, but I got frustrated, Joe. I was just...
But how do we know if we're listening to Dr. Mike? Like, have you had a lot of patients? Have you had some superstars? Have you fixed some amazing? How do we know?
In terms of my patient care, I estimated I worked with about 15,000 different patients one-on-one in my clinic. At the time, I worked with a company called, during that time frame, I was a contractor with Isaiah. And so this was a company where we traveled, and I was the chiro for the X Games athletes. I was the chiro for the USA rugby team. We worked with Wasilisin Media, which was all the action sport athletes. And so they funneled into our practice. And so that's where I got my experience with more of the high-end athletes. And then in 2015, this one-on-one stuff is good, but I ultimately was like, I can't help people hit their potential being stuck in this healthcare system. This system of just literally baseline symptom treatments. If pain is a scale, let's just say we have a continuum, and being pain-free is almost at the bottom of the continuum, and the top is your potential. That's you running your best, feeling your best, being able to conquer anything, climb Mount Everest. Dude, the healthcare system designed to keep you one speck above the level of pain. And you've got 97% above it that they don't even touch. They don't go there. And that's why I got frustrated. I was frustrated. I'm like, I can't help people hit their potential, verifying insurance business, dealing with workers' comp. I was in it, Joe. I was in it with working with orthopedic surgeons and working with pain management clinic and doing rotation in the VA. Like this is, so I got so frustrated in 2015, I started making videos about like what people really need to do to fix their shit. And that's when stuff went really viral. And that's whenever there was like this huge growth and I started getting more notoriety. And that's when I started being in things like in men's health, working with some top athletes, you name them, top comedians in the world. We've had, since then, I've got a few million followers on social media channels. We've had like 200,000 members. I have a full online programs that I built an entire methodology, movement methodology to help people fix their shit. So we've had a couple 100,000 members in there. The last 8-9 years is building that presence, being on whatever, like Live with Mark and Kelly, being in Men's Health, being Entrepreneur Magazine, being all these media publications too. Just trying to really, it's just me I'm just trying to get the message out to the most amount of people. Fixing your shit is not done in healthcare. Like it's a personal responsibility. The path is empowerment. It's understanding your body, understanding your misalignments, moving better, right? Focusing on improvement, learning from your setbacks. It's like becoming a professional athlete, a professional musician, growing a business, growing Spartan Race.
I love it. And it resonates with me because first of all, in the 70s, my mother became a yoga devotee, but then also became a yoga instructor. So I've been around body awareness and paying attention to things and fixing things as they occur since the 70s. And that's before it was cool or there were, right? Like, so I've been around it a long time. I guess I'm open-minded to it. The other thing I would say is I knew that my time was limited after that car accident. Like I was going to fix it, hopefully, continue to compete, do some great things. But there was going to be a moment in my head, there was a moment where I was going to pay the price. And about a year and a half, maybe 2 years ago, I started to feel some back pain. And so I felt, here it comes. I'm going to have to get a hip replacement or something's going on, right? Then I was competing in one of our DECA events, 10 stations indoors. And I was doing the ski erg and I was doing the rowing machine and I was doing the burpees. And I noticed my real struggle was in my reverse lunges. And so I said, that's weird. Why am my reverse lunges are bothering me? And I started to play a tape in my head, to your point, fixing my own shit. And I said, maybe my glutes are weak. Maybe that's why my back's bothering me. And so I started doing basic reverse lunges every day as part of my routine because I'm a madman. I work out every day. My back doesn't bother me anymore. I got no issue. It's unbelievable. Like I can't fix everybody, but like that worked for me.
It is amazing, but not really. Like at this point in time, I'm amazed if it doesn't work. That's when I'm amazed if it doesn't work. Because now, for example, from the glutes, when you say by strengthening your glutes activated it, what the glutes do is I look at living pain-free in 4 pillars: alignment, movement, mindset, and recovery. And my strong, I love alignment. I went to school to be a chiropractor and I learned spinal alignment. But we learned how to like adjust the spine into alignment. And I right now teach people how to use their muscles to pull their spine into alignment without an adjustment. Though adjustments can be beneficial. But ultimately, what your glutes are doing to your spinal frame Yes, let me stand up. Sure. Your glutes, your glutes right here, these muscles are the strongest posterior tilters of your frame. These muscles, when they're weak, your spine will flip into more of an anterior tilt position. But a strong glute will pull your pelvis into a posterior tilt position. Now, here's the thing. If your pain that you're getting in your back, was it worse when you were standing, running, or was it worse when you were sitting and maybe bending over like to pick something up?
It was probably a bend over or something that I would feel it. Some position where I was bending. It's been a while. I mean, I'm completely pain free, so I don't even remember it. Isn't that funny how the human brain works? It's gone.
And that's why pain, Joe, is such a great motivator. This is why I really discourage people from doing things like epidurals and discectomies and even painkillers, because there's no greater motivator than pain. And so people have this crazy idea, oh, I'll get the back surgery and then I'll do my rehab. No, you won't, because you're going to take the pill. You're going to get enough relief to be mediocre enough to move on with your life. And you're going to kind of forget about it as that issue is still compounding and getting worse. I love pain.
I like that. I like that. Pain is an incredible motivator, and it's going to force you to fix your shit.
I mean, there's benefit to that. There can be, but it's such a slippery slope. Like, for example, there's a supplement out there called Kratom. I love this stuff, actually. It's a natural opioid. It's a southeastern leaf, and the red strain of it is as a natural pain reliever. I mean, I definitely see a way where some people they can't get into positions because of pain, can't get into positions that their body needs to get into because of pain. Most pain is attributed to something mechanical movement at first, and then it becomes psychological, right? Depression, anxiety, oversensitization, all these things. And so you can numb it a little bit and then get through the movement and give yourself some confidence again. That's fantastic. But man, there's not much coordinated effort to do that out there right now. It's just because, oh, this feels good and off I go with my life.
Listen, you're trying to sell the hard way, and I know what it's like to sell the hard way. 99% of what's being sold to human beings is the easy way. They want the couch. They want the easy button. They want a pill. They don't want commitment, hard work, cold showers. No one wants that.
It's never good doing it. It's only after. It's tough, man. I always wonder, like, man, this is just like, I'm hoping the next 4 years, I'm just like, we got RFK Jr. in there. I really love him in there for this thing. I love Trump in there for this. I just think the next 4 years, if RFK can do that job, but he says he can, I really think and I really hope that message is going to become more, because, I mean, we've had big farm, big this. I mean, they're dominating right now. They dominate Google. They're spending $88 billion on ads. And I mean, they don't want people to look. I've been on major media shows. And dude, I'm not allowed to say diagnosis. I'm not, and every commercial in between me is medication. I go, of course they don't want. I'm a conflict of interest. I think the average number is crazy in the US. Person that enters healthcare with back pain costs them and the insurance company $800,000 over a lifetime. Like, that is good freaking money right there. In me, I could help you fix your shit in 90 days for the $200.
What's the most common pain that you experience, the most common fix, so that folks out there that don't know?
I haven't checked in the last year or two, but it's always a race for the number one cause of disability in the world, and it's back pain. And I think it still is. So you got back pain, number one. And then there are types of back pain. The number one type of back pain that I'm seeing nowadays is joint-related back pain. To keep it real simple for your audience at home. And also on my website, movie.com, I have a free posture tool. And I paid $30,000 for this thing. It's totally free. It just gives you take your picture, face on the side of you, and it's going to draw lines on you and help you understand your posture. Because to fix your shit, Joe, this is a really simple concept from an alignment standpoint. You simply have to strengthen and mobilize your body in the opposite direction of the misalignment. So in order to do that, you have to know what a misalignment is, what normal is, and where you are. Now, everyone goes, well, I'm a little different. Oh, shut up. We're all 99.9% the same. Let's be clear. We're all born with a spine that has a natural S shape, and it may have developed into a flat spine or too much arch. Our structure is built like that. The bones are built like that from the factory coming out. So we all should be training to at least from a spine, a back standpoint, strengthen and mobilize our spine back towards a neutral, natural lordotic curve. And I'm making it real simple for people because I'm talking general stuff that I see. And I'll give examples here. Number one issue out there right now is this excessive lordosis of the back. Okay, this is a high pelvic tilt angle. So on a male, we want about 8 degrees. On a female, about 10. Okay, now this is the anterior tilt, more than 8. Now what this does here over time is this causes, because the mechanical stress is placed on the joints of the back. So this causes issues like SI joint, facet joint pain. This even causes issues, hip impingement. People mislabel this. This causes a tightness of the low back as a result. And also the upper body must compensate with this, because if I go anterior, Joe, and my body went, it would go here. So it does. When it comes back, my head's got to go forward. And so it creates a big rounded S-shaped spine. That S-shaped spine is the number one side. If I could just, pick one thing, you'd go, everyone in the world is doing this one thing, I would probably pick to fix that, because that's going to be the majority. We can say based on sitting. So we sit, tightens our hip flexors up, and we stand up. It throws us in the anterior tilt and some other aspects too. But strengthening your glutes and abs is the best for that one. But the glutes and abs, Joe, should be strengthened. The focus should be on strengthening the spine into a more natural alignment. And then the glutes and abs are the muscles that do that. Okay, so you can strengthen your abs all day, but if you're not aware that this is even happening here, but by focusing on more posterior pelvic tilt, by getting in plank position and really tucking, by working on different bridges and hip thrusters into positions through here, those are going to strengthen these, and it will pull your spine in a more neutral position. And with the upper back, and then the abs itself, specifically deep breathing, focus on more diaphragmatic breathing. We call it core breathing. That's the one thing that I teach. And last year I was on a show, it was like 4 million national eyeballs. Like, okay, what's the most important thing that I could teach them? And it is that core breath. And so that core breath, that deep transverse abdominal strength, that full forced expiration, every breath when you train. I do 200 of them every single morning when I wake up before I even do anything else. I'm doing them whenever I'm on my wall unit. I'm doing it whenever I'm doing my morning mobility. But those powerful inhale and exhales are going to strengthen the deepest core muscles. So it's not six-pack ab muscles. Those are the glorified ones in the front, but the ones beneath it that you can't see, those are the ones that make a difference in how you feel and in the shape of your spine.
Walk us through one of those deep breaths right now.
Audio purposes, my shirt is off, and I'm now showing my six-pack and my massive pecs there to Joe. Okay, since it's audio. If you guys add this, as every one of you add this into your daily routine, once you add this for 90 days straight, you will never stop doing this, because the energy it gives you, the strength it gives you, how it improves your posture, like it's fundamental. And once you learn it, you can use it for stress relief. You apply it to every squat you do, every lunge you do, every time you pick up the cat ladder. What you're going to do is, I want you to everyone to stand up right now and put one hand on your stomach. And the first thing you're going to do is put a hand on your stomach and a hand on your chest. And now take a big breath in, but let your stomach stick out and protrude like you're pregnant. Way up. Now exhale. I want you to keep your hand on your chest here, but make sure your chest doesn't move. If you feel your chest move, your arm move, that's incorrect. And most of you are doing this with your chest. So again, let's try this instead. We're going to now close your lips in like you're sucking a straw in, and feel that diaphragm and feel the stomach bulge out as you breathe in. Full inhale. Now this time, I want you to force the exhale until you're out of air. And I mean out of air. And I want you to exhale like a snake. Like, here we go. Can you hear my breath, Joe? You got to make some noise. Listen, everybody, you sound wimpy, okay? You are as strong as your breath. Your breath needs to be powerful if you want to be powerful, okay? None of this weak little, I see it all the time. Now what you're going to do is this. You're going to learn, I'm going to teach you how to snap. So now I want you to push your stomach out, and Joe, go stick your stomach out like this. And now I want you to draw your belly button all the way back to your spine. At first, it's a simple drawback. Eventually, you get really good and can draw it all back. Okay? So again, stick your stomach out, and I want you to draw your belly button as far back as you can. And now what you're going to do, I want you to hold it back for the next 5 breaths. If I could breathe and then talk at the same time, I would, but that's really tough to do. I would figure that one out. The point is that a couple things are happening. Whenever your stomach is pulled in and then you take that big diaphragm breath into that drawn in stomach, you've essentially created the maximum amount of PSIs in your midsection. PSIs, just like a car tire. And the greater PSIs you have, the greater spinal protection you have, because it pushes out and actually those PSIs decompress your spine and make you taller. So that's your natural decompressor. People are like, I do inversion. I'm like, you can do inversion. You got the natural built-in inversion belt inside you. It's from the factory. People use these back braces. I'm like, you got one already in you. And it's way better, I promise. It's a Ferrari. Let's just say you're lifting something really heavy and you want to protect your back. Well, to protect your back, what you do now is you're going to draw in your stomach, hold your breath in, hold it tight, bend, keep your breath in, big lift with your breath in, whole time. So you're basically, I don't want to say hold, you don't want to say hold your breath because that's it. You just performed a core brace, which is the greatest protector of the spine during heavy movements. You can also, so that means a deadlift, right? We're down, hold your breath and come up. So the timing of this breath needs to match the movement that you're doing. So during a bench press, the timing, and you want it completely, forcefully, everything exhaled at the completion of the movement, with the caveat, unless you're lifting something very heavy, let's say 80% or more of your max, then you want to focus on holding the breath and core bracing throughout the rep. And then whenever the rep's over, releasing, catching your breath. That's the core brace. And that will change your freaking life. It adds power, it adds strength, it adds speed, it improves your posture, it decompresses your spine, it gives you energy. This is the most powerful tool that I can give your audience today that doesn't require, and it takes no time. You're already doing your squats, right? You're already doing this shit. This is like a no time exercise. It's just another awesome thing to do.
I love it. I love it. You know, I did a lot of yoga in my time, and the yoga that I did had a lot of breath work, but it was never really explained to me in detail. So I love that you just went through the explanation. Let's do a recap. We want folks working on their glutes. We want folks working on their abs. The number one methodology for strengthening the core is proper breath work. We've got a couple of different methods to doing the breath work. What did I miss?
So like this whole methodology that I created, I mean, it takes about 1.5 years to even to learn. And, I've been trying to simplify what I've known. It's like anything, the older you get, you start going, okay, if I can go back to my younger self, like how much of 80-90% of what I learned in school, I'm like, I never used. I had to take my state boards again because I let my license expire. And I'm like answering questions like cancer, tumor palpation. What tests would you order for cancer? I'm like, I paid hundreds of thousands of dollars for this shit, never used it. And so ultimately, I'm trying to help the world. Like, I'm just trying to, all this money I've spent on things and time I've spent, I'm just trying to like cut the fat off all this stuff constantly to just like condense in there what people truly need to know to live their life in pain. When I say pain, it's a marketing tool. It catches people's attention. What I'm teaching has nothing to do with pain, right? I'm teaching you, I just know what diagnoses and symptoms. I know how to progress people safely out of those things. And I'm not afraid of certain diagnoses. Oh, the PTs or certain trainers might be like, oh, disc, oh, I don't know what to, I'm not afraid of those things. And so the point I'm making is that like what I'm teaching doesn't have anything to do with pain. This is proper body mechanics based on the design in biomechanics and anatomy of our body. But I'm ultimately trying to help people move better, live free. We say live free from pain, live free to be. But ultimately, it's so much more than being pain-free. Pain-free is just like $1 in your savings accounts. I mean, we're trying to have a little more of a buffer than $1 in there.
How do people find you?
Oh yeah, I'm all over. So dude, you name it, I'm all over. So you can check me out on Instagram, MoveU. It's MOVEU. YouTube, MoveU, MoveU.com, MoveU in the App Store, MoveU everywhere I can be. MoveU Facebook, Move TikTok, MoveU.
Where do you live?
I'm in San Diego.
We gotta come see you. I'm in Florida now. We got the farm up in Vermont. Maybe we'll bring you to the death race. We could do some MoveU at the death race in June.
Let's do it. I'll set up some sort of a booth. I'll help your athletes out. I'll do like a nice assessment on you. I got some awesome software too. I got some new software. Basically, you used to have to put like biomechanical sensors all over your body. Now we can do it from an iPad. I can do a full biomechanical assessment. You can help you understand your body and give you some things. And yeah, like let's get your athletes feeling good. This whole thing about hurting their knee when they're gardening. Listen, these things aren't accidents. Okay, don't let healthcare fool you to think the reason you have pain is because of bad luck or bad genes. That's not the truth at all. It's the way you move. But it is always funny when my athletes come back and they're like MMA fighters and they come back and they go, yeah, I hurt my neck on a plane ride. I'm like, this stuff's all predictable. Your pain's predictable. The way it came is predictable. And the way to get out of it is predictable. Okay. It works every time if you focus on those 4 pillars: movement, mindset, alignment, and recovery. You just got to figure out which one you're weak at. Some people are really good with movement, really bad with alignment, but they've got a great mindset. I'm like, oh, okay, we got to work on alignment, right? So these 4 pillars, there's just like, it's like levels, right? What level are you with each one of these? And then the weaker level, if you bring that up, it'll give you the fastest results.
I love it. All right, you are the man. Thanks for doing this.